So I just spotted my wife out here doing a lockdown routine. You can see she is carrying a passenger on board, but this is also a really good exercise focusing on extension, working your glutes, working your core. When you do any exercise like this, you've got to concentrate on stability, keeping your pelvis nice and level. You can see she's not using her arms for balance and is trying to do a running motion with her arms. And exercises like this, they simulate the running motion, so that's why it's a really good idea. You're using your muscles in the same pattern as you would when you run, although the movements are a lot bigger and a lot more dramatic, putting a lot more demand on your core and stability coordination. So really good idea. So today I just thought I'd give some ideas on how to mimic running if you don't have space to run in, with a few exercises, just trying to get some impact and also just mimic that motion, and also just work on posture. So overhead squatting really helps a lot with running posture, and if you do anything like you'll see me with a broomstick over my back, that helps you to stand up straight, and just maintain your posture, which is a great aid for running. You can probably see my wife heading up the driveway now. She's walking, being 30 weeks pregnant, and trying to complete the Mzansi Lockdown Marathon Challenge with some weights in her hands, improvising with some bricks. My kids following along behind her. Yeah, but back to the running. Just if you can't run around your garden for very long because you can't tolerate it, just try whatever you can do, that is a running motion. Just try and do it. This morning I did do a garden run. Our garden is very tricky. It's very technical to run in and very small, and when I do run, I'm having to do lots of 180-degree turns with a 100-meter lap. So I'm not going to be doing very much of that. It's also a huge injury risk. But yeah, you are taking strides, and there is running impact. So we'll be doing a little bit of that, sorry. But yeah, mentally it's very tough. So just other exercises that you can work on strength. And remember that everything you do holds stability across so it's very important to concentrate on stability across here. Use your glutes and engage them as much as possible, and to keep square and to keep controlled across your pelvis. And then just work on holding form, so that when we all can get back running normal again, that you have benefited from at least doing something, and that there is a positive outcome. So just be creative, work on anything that you can, and try and get a positive outcome out of these 3 weeks. And then whatever running you can do, just try and make the best of it. And hopefully we'll have a bit of time to train for whatever events are coming up once everything gets going again. It will be a little while before group runs and all that are happening again, even when things do kind of get back to normal. And running events won't start straight away, certainly, because those are gatherings of big people. So, Comrades is definitely not going to be able to happen on the 14th of June, for example. Who knows when they are going to have it. With the heat, I don't think they can go too much later than mid to late August. So I'm just training in hope of that kind of a date, and then just going to get going once the lockdown finishes, and just doing what I can. Some other exercises that you can include
are planking, that obviously it braces you and obviously is very much a postural exercise, but don't forget to back plank. Back planking is very much, it reproduces the postural strength and the form that you will need to hold yourself upright for long periods during running. So just work on back planking. So I'll try and show you some of that. So just some relatively simple planking with a little bit of dynamic movement. It's always good to try and introduce a bit of dynamic stuff, and it works very strongly with your stability across here, which is important. You're transferring load from left to right, and yeah, when you get tired, I find, like with the very long runs, one of the biggest areas where I do feel fatigue is in here. So working on that stability across these areas will definitely help with the long runs, even though I can't do them at the moment. And the back planking is all the postural strength down the postural chain. So, and I find it very helpful to do this kind of stuff once I'm a little bit fatigued, and then just try and really hold form, and be strict on myself. Yeah, and do find benefit out of that. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a hand of stuff to do at home. No weight required. No equipment besides a broomstick. Just some advice relative to squatting movements. Very important to always look up, don't look down at the floor, always look up at the horizon. Keep your heels down on the ground. Keeping your heels down on the ground, that helps to engage your postural chain and work through your glutes and your hammies and your low back. Instead of, if you lift your heels and go up onto your toes, you'll tend to shift forwards, which puts more load on your knee and loads your quadricep. So just in, well, as runners particularly, but in general as well, you're always trying to load your postural chain. So you're trying to shift back. If you need to, what you should do if you're trying to learn to do that movement correctly is do box squats, or squat back onto a chair or onto anything that you can sit down on. So that little stuppy behind me there that we've got, that is actually a little chair. I often do box squats onto that little ledge to keep myself squatting back and to keep my heels down, keep my glutes working, and engage my postural chain strongly. So just some advice to do with that. And then any type of a lunge movement, just remember you must keep stability across this midriff and work pretty hard, but still breathe. You must still be able to breathe. So you've got to learn to dissociate your diaphragm from the rest of your core and still be able to breathe while you are doing that. It's a very important skill and cohort, I guess, to learn, because most people, as soon as they try and engage their core, they hold their breath, and if you're trying to do that while you're running, you're not going to run very far. So learn to engage and use that core while you're still able to breathe freely. That last one is a real glute fryer, and works your postural chain really well. It's really difficult. I'm not very good at it at all, so don't take my form as an example, but you're trying to keep out straight and extension with a nice straight back and your hip extended straight behind you, and then just maintain stability. Your bent leg is the one that takes the strain. Your glute really does get fried, along with all of your postural support muscles trying to hold you up. And again, your head should be in a horizon, a position where you are looking at the horizon, not looking down. So yeah, but don't be attempting that if you're not strong enough. If you can't hold yourself in that position, there really isn't any point, but I just thought I'd throw one difficult one in there. And those are just some examples of some postural chain exercises where you're trying to engage as much of your postural chain as possible and work up into extension and working your postural chain. Your postural chain are all the muscles that start from the back of your neck, go down your back, your glute, your hammies, your soleus. That's part of your calf, not your gastrocs. Your soleus is the deep muscle, and then your plantar fascia. So just trying to work and engage all of that all at the same time, and get that all to fire all at the same time, and work on a bit of strength and posture. So just give you some ideas on approaches to use for training during lockdown and home training. So that finishes my workout ideas. My kids have been training along behind my wife, who is trying to do 2 kilometers a day to get the Mzansi lockdown marathon thing done in the 21 days. I'm already finished it. I managed to get a couple of long runs in when we were up in a bigger garden for the first few days. So I managed to club most of it while we were up there in the first 4 days. But yeah, as I said, I am trying to just keep going with a little bit of running, but not managing very well with that here, so having to do all the extra work on the cords and on the stability, and hopefully that'll pay off when we get back running again.